Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Maya. All right, well, welcome to today's joy-filled service, following the beautiful daily word that reminds us about we're not alone. We can follow our guidance. And one of the signs that we're in the flow of that is synchronicities that show up in our life. And also our awareness that joy isn't our happiness, feeling a fleeting moment of happiness. Joy is built into how we are built, right? How it comes along with being here. You might not feel it all the time, but it is aware, it's in there. Today's time together is about becoming more aware of that joy. And how many of you have seen the movie with the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu about joy? There's a movie and a book. Maybe that's the second movie night we need to have. Right?
Building up.
Building up. Yeah, I listened to it on audiobook, and there's so many treasures in there. I have some quotes to share with you to kind of get into the mode. But before we do that, I want to honor the full moon. Tomorrow is the full moon, and something at like 8:35 tomorrow night Eastern time, which is our time, the full moon, which is a super moon. So maybe the smoke will clear a little bit and we can actually see it here in Montreal. It's the full moon, and the full moon is a great time to amplify things. So just think of it like a big spotlight. Even if we can't see it, it's shining energy, shining a light on things that need to be amplified or revealed. All right. So you might think of it as lighting up the dark shadows in us and in our situations, but you can also think of it as amplifying things like joy and awareness and whatever it is you want to amplify, whatever it is you want to shine a light on in your own life. It's nice to align with the cycles of the earth and the moon and the seasons as invitations to ourselves, not because they hold any magic powers, but as invitation to ourselves to remind ourselves that, oh, you know what? Yeah, time is passing. Let me use this time and the traditions across all traditions. There's always something going on with the moon. But like I said, it's not because the moon has magic powers. It's because we give it attention. And then that way it can be magical for us, right? So it's the moon, full moon's an invitation to think about how you want to amplify something or become more aware of something. And it doesn't matter 3 days before, 3 days after, all that energy is there. So for the next 3 days, starting today and 3 days after the full moon tomorrow night, you might want to just sit outside. You might want to charge up something like we're doing here. This is all energy stuff, all energy and attention. So let's recognize and celebrate the moon with a song. This one's by Fia, and I need to change the musician thing here so that you guys can hear us at home. Can you hear this, Dr. Maya? Okay, good. So let me just tell you the words, and then we're going to stand up and sing it. So it's just got 4 lines. Full moon glow, I am bright and beautiful. Full moon glow, I am brave and I am bold. Ready? Full moon glow, I am bright and beautiful. Full moon glow, I am brave and I am bold. Again. Full moon glow, I am bright and beautiful. Full moon glow, I am brave and I am bold. Full moon glow, I am bright and beautiful. Full moon glow, I am brave and I am bold. Yay, full moon. And you could hear it that time, right?
Yes.
Yay.
Thank you.
All right. All right. I wanted to I sort of started off this talk just to kind of set the stage here. And there's a reading that I've asked 3 people to share. It's actually a children's book, and you can read it online if you like, or listening to it online. But there's 3 people that are going to share that story. And the book is called All I See is Part of Me, and it's by Chara Curtis. It's a short little book. And what I love about this story is, if we were actually had the book here, you would see an illustration of the little boy who's the main character in the story doing the talking. And there's an image of him that the illustrator did that shows it inside. The universe is inside us, so it's almost like he's turning himself inside out. And because it's joy and great spirit and source, God, whatever, whatever concept you have of this unity consciousness that's available to us all isn't outside of us, it's actually inside of us. But it's hard to remember sometimes in daily life that that's inside of us. So a lot of our work in prayer and meditation is trying to get at that inside place, right? That place of silence. So I like this book because it just reminds us that that is the case, and it's a cute little way to get in there. So I would like to invite Catherine, who's online, to unmute and start off our story, followed by Gloria, who's here, who'll come up, and then by Letitia, who's here and come up. And I do have printed versions, so you could read it. Okay, but to you, Catherine.
Okay. I am part of all I see, and all I see is part of me. I am my hands, I am my feet, I am the puppy across the street. I am the moon, I am the stars. I'm even found in candy bars. I used to think that I was small, a little body, that was all. But then, one day, I asked the sun, "Who are you?" He beamed. "We are one." But Mr. Sun, how is this true? How can I be both me and you? He smiled. You might ask your sister Star. She too is part of who you are. And so I waited till the night when darkness let me see her light. Sister Star, how can it be that I am you and you are me? She glowed. You're larger than you know. You are every place there is to go. You have a body that is true. But look at what's inside of you.
Chris, we have a echo. We can barely.
Why would there be an echo?
She was perfect. We heard Catherine was fine. We're not hearing an echo. Did you try to talk? Look, Maya does.
What happens when I speak?
Maybe
It's
Maya
good.
can mute.
That's
Maybe
good.
Maya can mute.
Yeah, Maya should mute.
Maya should mute.
I closed my eyes to see within. I saw light. It made me grin. It reminded me of Sister Star. She said, "That light is who you are. Your body is just a little part of the light that shines within your heart. In all the world and all of space, your light shines bright. It's every place. And when you join it dot to dot, you'll see that you is what we've got. All the plants, the animals and trees are in your light, and you are these. Look inside each one you meet and see your light. It's so complete. Inside, outside, below, above. See your light and feel its love. You're asking me when you ask me so that you know everything, don't you see? I looked again at all my light and saw that Sister Star was right. For every question there could be, the answer is inside of me. All I ever had to do was ask the part of me that knew. And then I said, there's something more. Each question opens up a door. and every door that I walk through leads me to a part of me that's new.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much, Sister Star. I love the part of me you are. I wondered as I climbed in bed, does all me sleep when I rest my head? And then a voice, I guess it was me, replied and spoke most lovingly. Even when you sleep, you are awake in every shining star. I snuggled with my teddy bear, and in his light I saw me there. You are me, and I am you. You love me. I love you too. I closed my eyes and found my light, dancing with moonbeams in the night. I said a prayer. I know it was heard because all that is hears every word. And I can see in all of me that there can be no end.
Yes, thank you, everyone. That was so lovely. Yeah, Gloria and Catherine, Leticia. That's such a beautiful children's story. For adults too, right? For our inner children. So this story demonstrates our one consciousness, right? And our inner divinity. And some of you know who Paul Hasselbeck is. He used to be in charge of the teaching program for Unity headquarters in Missouri. And he's into metaphysics, which is part of what the Unity belief system is about. It's a way of viewing the world. It's a way of interpreting things, very handy. Lets you go deeper into what we assume the words mean, into their true meaning. So here's something that he says about this. And he has, this is his piece about joy. The daily word last week was joy, on the 25th. And this is Paul Hasselbeck's interpretation of it in what he calls the absolute word. This is just a piece of it. I'm expressing joy from my divinity, my ability to express love, life, wisdom, and all other qualities based on principle, and principles, a concept of God, is limited only by my willingness to live from my spiritual nature. All right, so joy is limited only by my willingness to live from my spiritual nature. I am divine, and my divinity is identical to the divine everywhere and in everyone. Just like the little boy said in his story. Therefore, joy remains with me no matter what is happening around me, because it's not based on any outer thing or person. My joy is derived from the principle of joy. So this is going back to the unity idea of one consciousness. Divine consciousness has these characteristics in it, these principles within it, like love and strength and power and health, and not power over, power within. And joy is one of those principal characteristics of the overall God consciousness or Christ consciousness, unity consciousness, the one consciousness. So it's a characteristic of that core substance. So of course, we're an expression of that. All those characteristics are available to us. They're built in. It doesn't mean that we feel them all the time, right? That's part of the job here, is to reveal those and become aware of them and to put them in action. And as the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu say in that book and the movie of Joy, my takeaway from that book is joy is the practice of ever revealing this within ourselves. It's not the feeling of happiness I get when I see flowers, or the feeling I get when I'm drumming or seeing or feeling. I can feel joy from that, but it is not a fleeting emotion based on a birthday cake or something, right? Joy is something deeper and longer lasting. It's part of how I'm built, part of how we're all built. But how do you feel it more often? Well, the best way, a great way to feel it and activate it within yourself and break through inside to that awareness more often is to care for other people and to put yourself in action in service to other people. So here's something that Desmond Tutu says about this. We are wired to be caring for the other and generous to one another. We shrivel when we're not able to interact. Like, think of COVID, right? It was hard to interact. It was hard, and people were feeling bad because it was hard to get into the giving mode, right? I mean, that is part of the reason why solitary confinement is such a horrendous punishment. We depend on the other in order for us to be fully who we are. The concept of Ubuntu says, a person is a person through other persons. So this is from Desmond Tutu. And then the Dalai Lama says, in fact, taking care of others, helping others, ultimately is the way to discover your own joy and to have a happy life. So you have the people here in the sanctuary have 2 shells. And at home, you can imagine you have 2 things, or if you have maybe a stone handy. One shell is for yourself, to remind yourself of this awareness of joy, to tune into it. Use the shell as an object that you can touch or carry in your pocket or put on your own meditation altar as a reminder to tune into your own joy. There's Dr. Maya's got something already. Ooh, that's beautiful. And then pick something else, a second item if you're at home, or the people here have 2 shells. One shell is for you as a reminder, and oh, that's cute. A baby elephant and a mommy elephant. And then, yeah. So the other shell, isn't it to be little, is to give away today, right? I want you to take that shell, that second shell, and I want you to just give it to somebody. Or, have you ever been, I don't know if they do that here, in the US, where I live in North Carolina, and in Michigan too, you'd walk around, you'd like be in a park, and there'd be a painted rock that somebody painted with a flower. Do you see those around here? They might say love on them, or peace, or joy. Have you guys seen those? The little painted stones. Isn't it just like a bit of, especially if you're in kind of like a blah, 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 going kind of typical day, rushing to somewhere, and then you see this little stone on the ground, or next to you if you're sitting on a bench, and you're like, like a little cheering up, right? I invite you to think of that as another option for your shell. You can give it to somebody, so sharing your joy that way, or you could put it somewhere where somebody is going to see it because it's totally out of place, and they'll be like, oh, look at that. Where did that come from, right? And you're just kind of sharing a little bit of this joy vibe. So let me know what you do with your second shell. I'd just love to hear about it. Cool. So another angle on joy comes from our brother Marco Bazzacci, who couldn't be with us today, but he has a poem called The Tree of Life that I've asked Marjorie to read. And Dr. Maya, do you want to say something about your elephants?
Oh, my elephant. Yeah, well, there's a sound. When I come.
Okay, try it.
Yeah, okay. Can you hear me? No, it's okay. I cannot. You can hear me. Okay, that's good. Well, I traveled to India. I had an opportunity to go on a very unusual 3-week to the national parks in the north of India. And I really wanted to go see. The elephant has always been my totem, or my guiding element in the nature world. And I have a deep relationship to it. And I have an elephant hanging around my neck. And now I got, this is an African stone creature. It's the baby, as Chris was saying, and the mother, and they go underneath each other. And to me, it is the 2 elements in me that are most dominant, I guess, or predominant. One is that I like to nurture project, and I like to nurture relationships. And the other one is the playfulness in me that keeps me on the planet, I think. All right. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Maya. And Marjorie, welcome. We turn it over to you to read. And Dr. Maya, can you mute, please? And then Marjorie is going to read a poem by Marco, The Tree of Life. Thank you.
How is the sound? Does it sound okay?
Yes, it's good.
Okay, this is The Tree of Life by Marco Bazzucchi. The tree of life I see before me is sorry, let me start again. The tree I see before me is the tree of life. In my ascent up this majestic masterpiece, every branch is a new tomorrow, overlooking a new horizon. The way of my future is forever changing. As I rise in altitude, I adjust my breathing and take in the beauty I now see. The bright light shines on the tree, and I discover that my climb is effortless, since the tree itself is growing, rising tall into the sky. The guiding light fills my fragile body. I use this energy to breathe in pure air, to look far into the sky and follow the birds with my eyes, to smell the gentle green leaves which dance in the wind, to taste the freshness of the fruits which the tree harvests, to hear the divine wind which
Recording in progress.
and to feel the light as it shines in my innocent soul. Now I see that my tree is part of a rich, dense forest, and that every tree has its own climate. My feeling of solitude vanishes as I look at this great community of climbers. Tears of joy fall from my eyes and quench the souls of those who cannot yet see the light. I must return to the forest to help my brothers and sisters.
Thank you, Marjorie, and thank you, Marco Bazzucchi, for writing that poem and letting us share in it today. Thank you. So as Marco's poem, I love the image of the trees of life, that there's not just one tree, that we all have a tree of life that we're climbing. And I love that when he gets to the top, tears of joy flow as he helps others climb their trees. And I thought it was a great example of the sharing is what revealing the joy. It's what's bringing out the joy. And I want to share one more little poem from, again, that Joy book or the Joy movie. This is the Dalai Lama. This is the Book of Joy is what it's called. Joy is the reward, really, of seeking to give joy to others. When you show compassion, when you show caring, when you show love to others, do things for others in a wonderful way, you have a deep joy that you can get in no other way. You can't buy it with money. You can be the richest person on earth, but if you care only about yourself, I can bet my bottom dollar, this is the Dalai Lama speaking, I can bet my bottom dollar you will not be happy and joyful. But when you are caring, compassionate, more concerned about the welfare of others than about your own, wonderfully, wonderfully, you suddenly feel a warm glow in your heart because you have, in fact, wiped the tears from the eyes of another. So I invite you to use your shell to wipe the tears from the eyes of another today. And what I want to do to close this talk on our theme of joy, yes, I'm going to stop recording because we're going to be playing some YouTube videos to give a taste of the kind of messaging that Kate's been putting into her Thursday night programming that are twice a month right now. I'll let her tell you about it. But because it's YouTube, I'll just stop the recording now. So a little technical thing, let me stop that and invite Kate up.